everyone, it's Truett and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing how to get a job or save money at age 14. I'm 14, but this applies to basically anywhere from 10 to 18 and beyond even, but I'm just going to be talking in general about how to make money, save money as a teenager. I got a job when I was 14. I'm 14 now. Unfortunately, I'm unemployed at the moment because of coronavirus, but I get a lot of questions from my friends and my family about how I got a job, how it is, how it works, all of that. So I thought that it'd be nice to cover it in a YouTube video because I'm sure that there's lots of girls and guys my age who are wondering the same things. Okay, so I've broken this down into 7 steps, but the 7th step isn't really a step. It's 2 categories. The first is how to get a job and earn the money, and then the second is how to save the money or spend the money. The saving and spending money is 6 tips, so stick around. I like to think that I'm pretty good at this. Okay, so the first step to earning money is building a resume and gaining experience. Experience and things to build a resume can be awards at school, after school classes, volunteer work, odd jobs, or any other work you've done in the past. For me, I started my own business at 11. I sold cookies. It was a really great way for me to learn about handling money and doing work and all of that. So if you are younger and looking into getting a job when you're 14, 15, 16, a good idea would be to start a small business, which I'll touch on more later, but it's really great to start getting experience as young as you can so that you can put it on your resume when you're a little bit older. There are lots of great websites you can use to build a resume, but it's pretty easy. You can look up a resume template online and then make a Google Doc. It's pretty easy to make. Your job is just to start doing things so that you have stuff to put in those block sections on your resume builder. A lot of places will want good students to work for them, so it's really important that you do well in school when you're getting a job, because if you aren't doing well in school, then you probably shouldn't get a job on top of all that. So focus on school, do well, and it'll really be better for you once you're getting a job. Hi, it's Editing Truett. I just wanted to say I'm so sorry for how dead I sound in this video. I thought about refilming it because I just sounded and looked like so tired, but I didn't. So I promise you I'm a lot more lively usually. I just was super tired that day. And yeah, I'm usually like way more enthusiastic, but yeah. So step 2 to making money and getting a job is observing your options. Some things to consider is where you live. What you should do is research the legal working age in your state or country. In Texas, where I live, it's 14. You can only work a certain amount of hours a day. Just do the research, look up your state or country, and make sure that it is legal for you to be working. Step 2 is thinking about your location. So if you live downtown in a big city, you can look at shops in your area or restaurants. If you live in the country, you can think about farm work or helping out the elderly or maybe babysitting. If you live in the suburbs, starting a small business would be a good idea. So like dog walking, lawn mowing, pet sitting, tutoring. And I always used to hear this on these kinds of videos because I watched them a lot when I was younger. And people would always be like, oh, to make money, pet sit, tutor, do this, do that. And it was always really hard for me because I either wasn't allowed to or I wasn't in a good area for it. There's lots of other businesses you can make, especially if you're a little bit older. You can sell things at school, which sometimes isn't allowed, but just do it. Whatever you're good at, just take your passions and your skills and then make them into a business. You can video edit for people. You can create a photography business where you take pictures of people's Instagrams. There's so many ideas. Just think about your skills and then think about how you can turn that into a successful way to make money. Okay, so step 3 is to narrow down your options and think about which would make the most sense. One thing to think about is the location of where you work versus where you live. So if you can't drive, maybe it's a better idea to work somewhere that's walkable for you, or you can take a bus to get there, something like that. Especially if your parents aren't available to drive you and they both work, then make sure that it's somewhere that you can access on your own and that your parents are okay with you safely getting to and from. And the second thing to think about is where would you enjoy working at. So you're gonna hate it if you go and you have to go somewhere every day or multiple times a week and you hate being there. You don't have to love it, but it has to be somewhere where you won't want to die. So for example, if you're a very antisocial person and you don't like talking to people, maybe working at a restaurant or a busy shop isn't a good idea for you. If you're not good with kids and you hate babies, maybe babysitting isn't a good idea for you. The third thing to think about is if it's a safe environment. So you want to make sure that where you're working, being a minor, that it's safe, that you feel comfortable there, that you have people you could talk to if you ever felt like you were in harm's way or uncomfortable at all. It's really important that before you start working somewhere, you get acquainted with the kinds of people that work there. The fourth thing to consider is your pay rate. So obviously there's not going to be a lot of wiggle room at our ages, and you know, because if you don't have a lot of experience yet, you can't expect to be paid a ton over minimum wage in your state. You want to consider the kind of work you'd be doing and if it's worth your time and effort for the amount that they'd be paying you. Know the value of your time and make sure that you're getting the best offer. Okay, so the fourth step is to go to those places and see if they would hire someone your age. Whenever you go to the places that you think you would want to work, make sure you're looking presentable, make sure you're smiling a lot, make sure you look, you know, enthusiastic, happy, whatever. Make sure you're in a really good mood. You need to act professional and mature, because a lot of times at these places, the people you're competing against are, you know, double your age, and so you need to make sure that you can prove to them that you can do the same kinds of work that a 20-year-old would do, because at the end of the day, even though, you know, you want the job really bad, the people who are hiring you are gonna pick the people who they think will do the best job. Okay, so step 5, if all the rest goes well, is to submit an application or attend an interview if they invite you to one. This is where the resume you built in step 1 comes in. So you want to submit that or attend the interview if they invite you to one, where you also need your resume because you'll be talking about it. So like I said before, maturity is the key. Make sure you come prepared with things to talk about, because you don't want to just be sitting there being like, oh. Just be polite, I'd say is a really big thing, and yeah, just show them that you really want to be there. Step 6 is to keep trying. If you don't get the interview the first time or you don't land the job, you could wait until you're a little bit older and do some of those odd jobs and small businesses that I'm about to talk about more. Or you could interview at some more places that maybe weren't at the top of your list. Okay, so step 7 are some alternative options. This isn't really a step, but it's just kind of, you know, some other options that you could pursue if the jobs you really wanted didn't work out. So like I said before, a mini business is a really good idea. So you could sell stuff at your school, to your friends, on Instagram. You could flip clothes, flip items. So basically, if you don't know what flipping is, it's where you buy something for cheap and then make it really cool. So ideas for this is you could buy old shoes and like paint them and make them really pretty. You could buy bikes and customize them or whatever. Basically, it's just taking something old or new for cheap and then making it into something that has a lot of value. You could buy clothes and sew stuff on them, whatever you want to do. Those are just like product ideas, but you could also have a service. So you could mow lawns, walk dogs, babysit, you know the drill. Another thing to think about is if your parents own businesses, then it's something you could work at. So say one of your parents or relatives has a shop or a service, maybe you could go and help them out there. If they have a restaurant, maybe you could help serve food or whatever. One thing that I did a little bit when I was a little bit younger was transcribe. So I saw this on another person's video and I thought it was really interesting. There are websites where you can listen to audio and then type it out for companies and they'll actually pay you for it. But the one that I did was called rev.com, so rev.com. I stopped using it. You get paid a certain amount per audio minute, so however much audio you listen to. So like the audio, 1 minute of audio you type out is worth a certain amount of money. And it might sound like not a lot, but a minute of audio actually took me like, I don't even know, like probably like 20 or 30 minutes to type out. So that meant I was only getting paid like a few cents per like 20 to 30 minutes I did it. So it was a kind of a cool idea if you can find the right website and get really good at it, but for me it just didn't work out. But that's something you can research if you would like, because there's no age requirements for transcription. Okay, so moving on to the second half, I'm going to be talking about how to spend and save money. So number 1 is to save all of your tips and half of your paycheck. But I'm a waitress at a cafe in my city. I saved all of the tips that I received and then half of my paycheck every single time I got one. You can also save some to donate if you have a cause that you're really passionate about. The second tip that I have is to have some form of tracking your spendings and savings. So for me, I use a bullet journal that my friend made me. I really love it, and it has a really really nice little column for plus or minus, and then it has a description and all of that. So it's something you could easily recreate on your own, and I'm sure there's lots of YouTube videos on how to do that. There's also lots of apps on the App Store or Google Play for saving and spending money, and it keeps track of your savings and all. I haven't found one that I really liked yet, and I've just been using the bullet journal, but maybe in the future I can find one to tell you guys about. Tip 3 is to be really conscious about what you're buying. So something that I really like to remind myself is like, could I/am I living without this thing? Do I really need it? Obviously you want to do self-care, all of that, and make sure you're happy and healthy. So yeah, you can splurge every once in a while, but you shouldn't be constantly buying things that you don't really need. Just remind yourself, I could use this money on things that I really need in the future instead of just buying these little things now that I want. Number 4 kind of ties into the last one, which is creating a vision board. So to remind yourself of the things you really want to buy and save up for in the future, you should make a vision board with all of the things that you really want to buy. You can do this on Pinterest. You can make a big Mod Podge thing. I have a Pinterest board, and basically, say you're saving up for a car when you're 16. Just put all of your dream cars on this vision board. You can make it your phone screensaver or whatever you want, but just remind yourself of the things you really want to work hard for so that you don't just spend it all on little things. Number 5 is I keep a piggy bank on my desk with all of my coins in it. So whenever I have coins in my pocket or I get change from buying something, I always just put it in the piggy bank. I never keep change. I always put it in the piggy bank, and then when it's full, I bring it to a Coinstar. It's a really easy way to save money without having to put much thought into it. Okay, and the 6th and final way that I save money is my Cashbox/debit card system. So I have a debit card, and it's something you can talk to your parents about if you're old enough. But basically what I do is I have a steady amount of money on my debit card at all times for emergencies, food, things I need out in the world, and then everything else goes into my Cashbox. So every month I go to an ATM and I take out whatever I don't need on my debit card in cash, and I put it in my cash box, and that's my savings. I never ever touch the cash box. I hope these tips helped you today. I was just trying to think when I was making this video, what would I have wanted to hear when I was younger? Because I used to watch these videos all the time, and they never were saying quite what I wanted to hear. So I really hope that this helped you. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'm hoping to make some more videos like this. I'm a short filmmaker, but I'm really looking to expand my horizons this summer because, you know, Corona, don't really have much else to do. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends who want to get jobs, and I will see you guys later. Also comment down below what videos you want me to make, whether that's money related or not. Just comment down below and I will make them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!